on CBS. Today, a battle in the Big East as 8th-ranked UConn takes on the streaking Irish from Notre Dame. And the standings in the Big East Conference, Syracuse has won today. Both of these teams chasing the front-runner, Pittsburgh. Hi, everybody. I'm Gus Johnson along with my partner, Clark Kellogg. And, Clark, today we get an opportunity to see Mr. Inside and Mr. Outside for UConn, Emeka Okafor and Ben Gordon.
One of the nation's best dynamic duos, and in Emeka Okafor, UConn has the nation's leading shot blocker, as well as perhaps maybe college basketball's player of the year. He's vastly improved on offense. No team can match the presence he gives UConn at both ends of the floor inside. On the perimeter, Ben Gordon is a 43% career three-point shooter, but he also is very comfortable taking it off the dribble and scoring against contact.
As for the Irish, they have won 3 straight basketball games, and their leader, Chris Thomas, has really been putting the biscuit in the basket.
He certainly has been, Gus. He has been scintillating in his last 4. 26 points a game he's averaged, but more importantly, he's controlled the pace of the game and the rhythm of the game for his team. In the last meeting, he went for 31 points against UConn. He made 6 of 10 from the three-point line, but every time his team needed a big basket, Chris Thomas was there to answer, and answer emphatically.
So coming up, it's UConn Notre Dame meeting for the second time in 12 days. We'll have the starting lineups and the opening tip right after this.
CBS Sports college basketball coverage is sponsored by the new Chevrolets. 10 new cars and trucks in 20 months. An American revolution. The U.S. Navy. Navy, accelerate your life. And by Wachovia Securities. Together, we can achieve uncommon results.
All right, Mike Brey on the right, the head coach at Notre Dame, his team 13-9, and Jim Calhoun 20-5 for the UConn Huskies, ranked number 8. Keep your eye on the backcourt for Notre Dame. Chris Quinn coming off a 22-point game against Syracuse, and Talik Brown had 13 assists in their win over Miami. And the officials for this afternoon's ball game here in Hartford: Ed Corbett, John Cal, and Pat Driscoll. Okafor and Cornette in the circle, and the tap controlled by UConn. What should we pay attention to early in this game?
Well, one of the keys for Notre Dame is they need to do a good job being patient offensively so they can keep transition baskets out of UConn's arsenal. The thing for UConn is they've got to do a good job, I think, defensively, containing the dribbler on the perimeter.
Baseline pull-up, too strong. Thomas with the rebound on the Denham Brown miss. And here come the Irish. They defeated Connecticut 80-74 on February 9th in South Bend. Huge game for that man, Chris Thomas. 31 points. Pick and roll down the lane. Jones rejected by Boone. Knocked out of bounds. Will head the other way.
One of the things that Notre Dame has really done well in this 3-game winning streak is get to the foul line. The absence of Terrence Francis due to back trouble has created more room in the paint area to drive to the goal.
Okafor, jump hook in traffic. Too strong. Goes up, gets the rebound. And he draws the foul the second time. A huge challenge, for Tom Timmermans guarding Emeka Okafor.
Emeka Okafor is so improved offensively. He's much more fluid in his moves, and he's much more aggressive and quick in going to his moves inside.
And what's the book on Okafor?
Some of what I was just talking about, blossoming offense. He's changed markedly from last year offensively. He dominates the paint at both ends, and he's a difference maker. His ability to block shots, but also rebound and change shots is something that no other team in college basketball has.
Now, we talked to Chris Thomas before the game, and he told us that he hopes Connecticut presses Notre Dame today.
Well, there's not going to be much full court pressure because that opens up the floor for a good ball handling and shooting team like Notre Dame. So look for UConn to simply just try to play tough, aggressive half-court man-to-man defense.
Notre Dame doesn't turn it over too often. Only 11 turnovers per game. Here's Quinn. Shot clock winding down at 4. He's got in the gym range, drives the baseline, and that is a shot clock violation. Didn't get it off.
Notre Dame wants to use anywhere from 4 to 6 passes before they look at the goal. That time, they forgot about the shot clock and got to work too late rather.
Out to Leak Brown, high pick and roll, cut off. Thomas slips, baseline, jump hook is good for Okafor. And a foul in the backcourt on Brown. Hand checking on Chris Thomas.
Take a look at Okafor moving off the ball. Nice screen there by Ben Gordon. The dynamic duo, you know their scores. Between them, they get about 40 points a game. But that time, Gordon doing a nice job freeing up Okafor with the screen.
During the 3-game winning streak, Notre Dame has defeated Connecticut, Seton Hall, and most recently this week, Syracuse. They beat the Orangemen on the road 84-72. Cornette rejected by Okafor. Huskies want to run it. Brown. Gordon, stop and start. Fade away, baseline jumper. Brown, make it boom, snatches it down, and lays it up and in. Josh Boone, the freshman from Mount Airy, Maryland. Now Thomas beats Timmerman. Quinn. Deep jump shot. Short. And the rebound goes to Okafor. Brown in traffic. Nice pace to start this ball game. 17:07 to go here in the first half. And Connecticut holds on to a 5-0 lead. Backdoor. Timmerman. Jump hook. Okafor with another rebound. Notre Dame 0 for 4 to start this game. Rise and fire Gordon. Rebounded by Brown and a new shot clock. He fires and hits.
Boy, Mike Gray might have to think about a timeout here. One of the things Notre Dame knew they would have to do would be to weather a very strong emotional storm at the start of this game from UConn. And when you don't make shots, you feed into the home team's emotion.
Here's Quinn on the baseline. Finds Jones. His shot. Short. Another rebound for Okafor. His fourth.
Not only does he have 4 rebounds, a couple of them have been offensive rebounds. And that's another key for Notre Dame, to try to limit UConn to 1 shot and 1 shot only.
Ben Gordon down the lane, and that is a charging foul. Nicely done by Cornette, sliding in and drawing the charge. And already Connecticut has 6 second chance points, leading 8-0. Now it's time for the singular one-on-one with Billy Packer Trivia Challenge. How many NCAA tournament games did Connecticut win before Jim Calhoun was their head coach? 27, 25, or 4. Take the challenge now for a chance to win a trip to the Final Four. Send a text message to 26222 from your singular wireless phone or most other carriers' phones, or log on to cbssportsline.com/2NCAA.
What's your guess there?
I'm going to say 4.
Okay. Letter C.
Letter C. Exactly.
I'm with you there, partner. 3 block shots already for UConn, and Notre Dame has only attempted 5 shots. They're 0 of 5. Okafor has 2 blocks already. He averages just under 5.
Thomas has remained patient. Their leading scorer hasn't attempted a shot as of yet. He averages close to 20 per game. Timmerman's catch and shoot. Weak side rebound. Cornette blocked again by Villanueva.
Actually, he was blocked by the rim, I think, there, Gus.
Quinn from straight away. And here come the Huskies. 0 for 7 for Notre Dame.
Not the start they were looking for.
Okafor rejected. Cornette with a hand on it. And it's chased down by Torian Jones. Now Thomas at 31 against UConn. Nice jab step, pulls up off the dribble, short off the glass. Okafor with his 5th rebound. Gordon. Gordon backs it up and decides to run the offense. Connecticut, fresh off a 76-63 win over Miami. Villanueva on the baseline with the jump hook.
That young man has an awful lot of talent, size, quickness. He needs to get stronger, but he is highly skilled at the offensive end of the floor.
Jones, a brick. Connecticut ground the other way. Okafor with a rebound and a foul inside. Now let's go to Greg Gumbel in New York.
Gus, I want to show you how the Seton Hall-Villanova Big East battle wound down. The Hall's Kelly Whitney hits the first free throw of a 1-and-1, missed the second. 2-point lead for Seton Hall. Randy Foy got this shot off, but not in time. It didn't fall. It wouldn't have counted anyway. Seton Hall has now won 6 straight against Villanova at home, 70-68. Gus and Clark.
All right, Greg. And this Connecticut team, #1 in the nation in 4 different statistical categories: field goal percentage, defense, rebounding margin, block shots, and assists. And they are a tremendous defensive team as a 30-second timeout has been called. UConn pitching a shutout. Notre Dame's 0 for 10. Gus Johnson, Clark Kellogg with you. And right now, this Connecticut team is playing some stifling defense.
You know what I call that? Saran wrap deep. Airtight. No room for movement. Block shots. Being physical. Not allowing Chris Thomas or anybody for Notre Dame to get uncontested looks at the basket. Notre Dame is in dire need of a high-quality shot that goes in.
Here's Thomas working hard. Baseline, Cornette for 3. And finally, he rips one.
That's one of the things the big guys can do for Notre Dame. Certainly, Cornette is skilled at handling the ball and making threes. You know, 14 of his 17 made field goals this year, Gus, are from behind the three-point line for Jordan Cornette.
And he's 6'9". Inside, Denham Brown on the hop, and he draws the foul. So Denham Brown, sophomore from Canada, heads to the free throw line. Had a big game this season, 20 points versus Pitt. And he's averaging 11 points a game after only 7 last year. And a substitute coming into the game. Colin Falls, a sharpshooting freshman from Park Ridge, Illinois, replaces Jones.
Well, Falls is like a dedicated fax line. He does one thing.
What's that?
And that's make three-point shots. You know, dedicated fax line, all it does is receive and send faxes. Well, Falls is a dedicated fax line as a shooter. All he does is look for threes.
Here's Cornette, the kick, Falls, gets a good look, and rips it.
Dedicated fax line for three.
And a turnover on the inbounds pass. So Notre Dame, back-to-back threes. Cornette curls, step-back jumper, a brick. Villanueva with the rebound. And Brown almost lost it. Villanueva, dribble drive, nice pitch, inside, reverse layup, no. Talik Brown, no. Loose ball, Armstrong, no. Villanueva, and he's fouled. Connecticut so active on the offensive boards. And Charlie Villanueva, the freshman from Brooklyn, New York, goes to the line. So Villanueva misses the first, and what's the book on Charlie?
Well, we'll take a look at it. He's the Platinum Choice Direct TV package, everything. All the channels you want, Gazelle-like, but he plays young. I think he gets down on himself a little bit if he makes mistakes. He's got to get through that, but that's part of being just a 19-year-old freshman. 19-year-old freshman, rather.
12-6. Look at the offensive rebounds, though. 7-1 in favor of UConn.
UConn has not cashed in effectively because the number of those offensive rebounds have led to free throws, and they've not knocked them down recently.
And Thomas firing an air ball. And playing on top, Connecticut this season, they rank #1 in 5 statistical categories, as we mentioned earlier. And the most impressive field goal percentage defense, they will get up on you in a hurry.
And they can pressure you defensively because of the shot blocking presence of Emeka Okafor. And we've seen all of those statistics on display here in the first 8.5 minutes.
Here's Gordon. Finds Okafor, double team. 8 on the shot clock. Gordon stripped by Thomas. Dorian Jones. Thomas wide open 3. Rebounded Jones, and he draws a foul. And this young man has been doing a lot of dirty work for this Notre Dame team.
He has been terrific on the glass. He's had 2 double-doubles in his last 4 games, and in the first meeting against UConn, he had 14 points and 12 big rebounds.
Also coming off a 12-point, 12-rebound game against Syracuse this week. Second foul on Gordon. Now don't forget, with the conclusion of today's game, we will select the Chevrolet most valuable player of the game from each team. Chevrolet will make a contribution to each school's general scholarship fund, a tradition for over 30 years. And Jones hits the second. So Notre Dame has weathered the storm. 12-7. Make it 12-8. Welcome back. Connecticut spent 8 weeks as the #1 team in the nation. Jim Calhoun loves his team, but you get the feeling he wants them to be tougher.
I think what we really need to do, or really have to do, is this team has to develop a belief in itself. We're really good. At times, we've been as good, if not better, than any team I've ever coached. And at other times, it's not because they're lazy. It's not because they're not great kids. This is as good a group as I've ever had. I mean, I've had some great groups, and this matches any of those. Great kids. But at times, we just not that kind of team that wants to put your lights out, to finish the game off.
That's a really accurate assessment from the coach who should know. He had a 1999 championship team. Multiple teams get to the Elite 8 and beyond the first round of the tournament. So he knows what it takes to have a team that can win it all. And yet this team, for all of its wonderful talent and nice multiple dimension pieces, has lacked in the area of really clamping down and knocking teams out. And we've seen evidence of that here in the first 8 minutes. They had a chance early on to really demoralize Notre Dame, but they've been unable to do so. And the Irish are right back in this ball game and where they want to be after the second media timeout. They wanted to be close, expecting UConn to come out with a hard hit, and so far, they've weathered the storm.
10:54 to go here in the first half. 12-8. Connecticut at home today with the lead. Anderson, the 15-foot jump shot at the elbow. Weak side rebound goes to Timmerman. And here come the Irish. Thomas 0 for 3 in the first half.
And his partner, Chris Quinn, 0 of 2. So Notre Dame within 4, and their 2 leading scorers have yet to score.
Thomas and Quinn accounted for 47 as Thomas takes the jump shot. They accounted for 47 of their team's 84 points in their win this week over Syracuse. Okafor with 8 rebounds already, and he knocks down the jump shot in the paint. So here's a question for you, Clark. You know you have to penetrate, and there's a shot blocker right there. How do you get to him?
Well, you've got to try to get to his body, but Okafor is so smart, and he has such excellent timing that he leaves space and still is able to get there and block shots. The other thing you need to do is your big guys have to be able to knock down perimeter shots.
Deshaun Anderson with the nice layup from Talik Brown. Now Thomas on the baseline. Off the glass, no good. 9 rebounds for Okafor. He had 15 against Miami. Here's Brown. Inside. Rimmed around, tapped back in. Looks like Boone got a hand on it.
Well, he's a terrific offensive rebounder. He's strong, quick off his feet, and has the long arms. And Mike Bray wondering about a couple of calls that he thought should have been made.
Back after this. 18-8, Connecticut with the lead, and Emeka Okafor 5 points, 9 rebounds already.
He is such a dominant presence inside, doing a nice job moving without the ball. And he's got such nice timing to get the block shots, and this is where he's really improved at the offensive end. I mean, last year, Gus, you watched him, and it was like watching somebody color by numbers offensively. I mean, he was so regimented and so mechanical. He's a totally different looking player offensively, and I think that's just a credit to his work rate and also his knowledge and hunger for knowledge to improve. I mean, he has made major steps at the offensive end.
Offensive game is a little more organic nowadays.
Oh, wow.
For Emeka Okafor. Foul called on Villanueva. Notre Dame 2 of 19 from the field. Quinn down the lane and gets the roll.
Well, UConn's defense has been very good. They've been focused, they've been aggressive. They've done a nice job of challenging the dribblers, and then Okafor has denied any opportunities inside.
Villanueva for 3. Ripped out of the air by Jones. So on the floor, Thomas, Timmermans, Quinn, Jones, and Cornette for Notre Dame. Thomas in and out, down the lane, the floater, pure. Tough move. And Jim Calhoun calls a quick timeout. He's taking somebody out of the game. He's looking at Denham Brown. (18-12) Connecticut with the lead over Notre Dame. And Jim Calhoun was upset with Denham Brown for allowing Chris Thomas to get by him.
And this is why, because Denham Brown was frozen-footed. They made no real effort to contain Chris Thomas. It's much easier to think about doing that from here than it is on the court, but Denham Brown didn't really move his feet at all.
Connecticut keeps it alive. Ball goes out of bounds, will head the other way. But the Huskies have owned the offensive glass. They have 9 offensive rebounds in the first half.
But you look at the score, Gus, and Notre Dame is comfortable with where they are, despite being pounded on the glass, despite being held to poor shooting. They're within 2 3-point buckets of tying the game.
And the Fighting Irish are playing without their big banger. Terrin Francis has a back injury. He's missed the last 2 games. Made the trip, but looks like he's going to have to pack it in for the rest of the season.
That seems to be the indication, Gus. I had a chance to visit with him briefly. He didn't know for sure what his situation was going to be like, but my guess is that he may have to explore surgery, and that's certainly with Shelvin for the rest of the year.
Both free throws are good for Jones. Notre Dame creeping back in this one. Welcome back to Hartford. A look at the game summary. Look at the rebounding, 23-11 in favor of the Huskies. But somehow, Clark, Notre Dame remains in this game down 18-14.
I think UConn has been really good defensively and on the glass. They've missed some conversion opportunities, though, on those second shots. They've also left some free throws on the table, which has been a real weakness of theirs all season long, making foul shots. But Notre Dame, on the other hand, has made 4 out of 4 foul shots. They've only got 2 turnovers, and that's their recipe for success. They need to make the three-point ball, they need to get to the foul line, and then they need to make sure they get good shots every trip. They've been able to do some of that in order to keep close. They've been pounded on the board, but you can sometimes overcome that, Gus, with the three-point shot and winning the free throw game.
Okafor buries the 15-foot jump shot. We're talking about turnovers. Notre Dame has turned it over only 8 times in their last 5 basketball games.
That's on a per-game basis, which is a major reason that they've been successful in their last 3.
Now Quinn having trouble with the handle. Gets to the basket, the runner. Snatched out of the air by Okafor. The long outlet pass to Malik Brown at midcourt.
That's what makes UConn so dangerous in transition, the deep outlet. They don't throw it to the foul line at their end. They throw it to half court, and if you're not back, the next pass is at the rim.
Okafor on the baseline. And you're right. He has really grown offensively. 9 points, 10 rebounds for Emeka Okafor.
Dominant. Absolutely dominant. And when he's making the mid-range, Jay, guess what? You can't guard him.
Can't guard him. Monday on an all-new Late Show, Dave got Survivor castaway Rob, plus Grammy Award winner Nora Jones, and an all-new Top 10 Monday right here on CBS, America's most watched network. Timmerman's wide open, off the heel of the rim, loose ball. Brown tracking it down, picks it up, trying to get a timeout, and does. Timeout Connecticut. 6:26 to go in the first half. 22-14. So far, the starting backcourt for the Irish has struggled a bit. Thomas 1 of 6, Quinn 1 of 4. And Connecticut holds on to a 22-14 lead.
Well, I bet you if you're UConn, you feel like, we should be up by more, especially since we're doing such a nice job on their 2 leading scores. But Torian Jones has been able to get to the foul line. There's a turnover, an opportunity for Notre Dame to maybe score in transition. Well, good job by UConn to get back.
Thomas drives baseline, pulls up on the dribble. Loose ball, tapped around. And this time the rebound goes to Denham Brown.
Torian Jones really battles inside. He's just overmatched from a size standpoint when he tries to go up against Okafor in the paint area.
Denham Brown hits the banker. A quick 6-0 run for Connecticut. They take a 24-14 lead.
UConn put in a number of different players on Chris Thomas. He's played 40 minutes in 8 games this year, including the last 4. So UConn looking to try to wear him down a bit by giving him different defensive looks.
Thomas really working hard for his offense. Quinn up top, in and out. That one halfway down, and a foul underneath the basket will go against Timmermans. As he tried to fight for position with Okafor. That's his second.
Here you take a look at Timmermans and Okafor, and there's the push-off with the right arm and shoulder. Good effort by Timmermans. But the second personal foul really hurts the Fighting Irish up front. They're not very deep, especially with Francis out. Mike Ray typically plays 7 guys.
Backdoor Anderson from Okafor. So he can rebound, block shots, shoot, and now he's passing the ball in the pivot.
He's doing everything and has been doing it all season long. You'd be hard-pressed not to make him your player of the year in college basketball. Could also make a strong case for Jameer Nelson from St. Joe's.
Cornette stripped by Okafor, out of bounds, and it goes off of his knee. Emeka Okafor doing it on both ends.
A nice leave on for the cutting Rashad Anderson. Chris Quinn a little slow in defending Anderson, and a nice job to make a strong, hard basket cut with the intention of scoring. A lot of times guys cut without thinking about getting the ball and scoring.
Okafor again, this time short. Offensive rebound. Malik Brown, reverse layup, got it. The Huskies have that pep in their step. And Connecticut takes a 28-14 lead, and a timeout has been called by Notre Dame.
Okafor misses this shot, but watch Brown, as Chris Thomas is watching, come in and get the rebound and finish it off with a beautiful reverse layup. You knew the Huskies would be ramped up today. There's nothing like the bitter taste of losing to get your juices flowing when you have a chance to meet that team that just beat you or recently beat you.
This is the second time that these two teams have met in the last 12 days, and that 80-74 loss on February 9th to the Fighting Irish is still fresh in the minds of a group of Huskies from Stores.
Without question. And you see Okafor getting a well-deserved rest. But he has really been the force and factor in this game at both ends.
UConn on a 10-0 run after the Irish closed to within 4.
Well, when you've got as many options offensively.
Cornette rebound and stick back.
Boy, that was big time work there by Rick Cornette. So his teammates call him Charlie because he looks so much like Charlie Villanueva with the shaved domes.
They could definitely be brothers. Or even twins for that matter. Denham Brown, ball fake, works his way inside, now kicks it back. 3:38 to go in the first half. Talik Brown uses the screen, fire. Ripped down by Jones.
I think Notre Dame will gladly look at Talik Brown taking perimeter jump shots. That's not his strength, and they just need to make sure they do what they did there and get the defensive board cleaned up.
Inside Cornette again on Boone. Drop step rejected and taken away by Boone. A la Bill Russell.
Lock it and keep it.
Connecticut with 7 blocks in the first half. There's a jumper off the back of the rim for Armstrong. Loose. Cornette with it. Taken away by Armstrong. And a new shot clock for the Huskies.
In the first meeting, Gus, one of the things that disappointed the Huskies and the coaching staff was they felt they got outworked in the 50-50 ball areas, on the glass at times. And so far today, you've seen that grit and tenacity that Jim Calhoun has been pleading for. The Huskies are giving it to him today.
Coming up on Singular at the half, Greg Gumbel and Seth Davis will have scores and highlights, plus the answer to the Singular Trivia Challenge. Connecticut really swatting it out of the air today.
Come strong or don't come at all. They've blocked 8 shots already, actually 7, but they average 8 per game on the season. Josh Boone can throw it out of there. Villanueva and the nation's leader, Emeka Okafor, is really a terrific shot blocker. He's got 4 today. But despite all of that, and the fact that UConn has retrieved 12 of their 20 missed shots, which is a ridiculous 60% offensive rebounding percentage, 40% is pretty good. Notre Dame just a couple of made shots away from getting back into it before the half, and that's what they've got to try to do.
Talik Brown turns it over as Cornette steps in the passing lane and comes up with the steal. Now falls.
Mike Bray giving Chris Thomas a little break. Hoping that Colin Falls can shake free. Oh, nice entry pass.
And Cornette draws the foul. This time Rick Cornette will go to the line. Made himself big on the box.
He sure did. Sat down nicely, used that lower body, and then went right at the shot blocker.
So Rick Cornette, the sophomore from Country Club Hills, Illinois, misses the first. Don't forget, Thursday on Survivor, the Castaways face an unexpected test and a showdown for immunity. It's out of control. Don't miss a new episode of Survivor Thursday here on CBS, America's most watched network. Second free throw good. 1 of 2. Rick Cornette, 28-17. Connecticut. Both of these teams chasing Pittsburgh for the top spot in the Big East. Boone down low, knocked away. Jordan Cornette gets a hand on it.
He had 3 steals in the last meeting. When you look at Jordan Cornette, I got a new word for you here.
What is it?
Okay, it's called valutility.
Valutility. Thomas short-arming a jump shot on the baseline. The Irish 2 for 12 from the three-point line today. Wide open in the corner. Bring it up for Rashawn Anderson.
Well, I'll get back to valutility later because right now, spurtability is happening.
Spurtability, valutility. 31-17 Connecticut can do no wrong. Cornette down the lane, and he dribbles it off of his knee.
He may have gotten bumped there, but no call. Notre Dame in a real danger zone right now as UConn at the 9-second difference between game and shot clock. They try to put Notre Dame in a tough way by scoring here.
Crossover, Talik Brown down the lane. Too strong. 28 seconds remaining in the first half.
You need to make sure you get the last one if you're Notre Dame.
Shot clock turned off. Game clock at 20 as they spread it out for Thomas. Irish shooting 16% from the field, 5 of 31. Sweltering defense by the Huskies. Quinn crosses over, pulls up, and finally drops one down.
UConn wasting time by not getting the ball out of bounds.
And the 19 points, the lowest in the first half for Notre Dame this season. The score, 31-19. Now let's send you to New York and Greg Gumbel.
All right, thank you, Gus. Coming up on Singular at the half, Seth Davis joins me for all the scores and highlights, including a couple of last-second Big East finishes after this message and a word from your local station.
All Connecticut in the first half, 31-19. CBS Sports coverage of NCAA men's basketball will continue after this message and a word from your local station. Welcome back to the Hartford Civic Center. The score at halftime, 31-19. Connecticut leads Notre Dame. I'm Gus Johnson along with Clark Kellogg. UConn has been overwhelming in this game.
Well, when you look at it statistically, they've biggie-sized everything. I mean, they've just been unbelievable statistically. Plus 19 on the glass. They've blocked shots. Second chance points, plus 11. That number should be larger for all the offensive rebounds they got, but still a dominating number. And this one here, 7 block shots. They average 8 a game, and you take a look at the rest of the halftime stats, Gus. And as you said, overwhelmingly in favor of Connecticut. Their defense has been fabulous.
And it's been a rough outing for Chris Thomas so far. After that 31-point game today, he's been held to 1 of 8 shooting 2 points, and he's 0 for 4 from downtown.
And of his 8 shot attempts, I only think 3 of those have been really good quality shots. The others have been a little off balance or under pressure, and I think you have to give UConn an awful lot of credit for that.
Chris Quinn also 2 of 6. Here's Thomas firing. Loose ball rebounded at the free throw line by Talik Brown. Here come the Huskies. Ben Gordon tripped on the way up, and he draws contact.
I think he may have lost the ball. And we're going the other way, partner.
You are correct. Gordon just losing it. Gordon only 7 minutes with 2 fouls in the first half. No points, no rebounds, no assists. Quinn, short, ripped out of the air by Okafor, his 13th rebound.
Well, Notre Dame, their game is about making shots from the perimeter, and I think we're going to get a Jordan Cornette foul call as he was wrestling with Josh Boone inside. But Notre Dame against a bigger, deeper, more talented team across the board, and UConn has no chance if they don't make their perimeter shots.
They shot 47% from the three-point line against Syracuse. Right now, they're 2 of 13 from the arc.
And in the first meeting, they were 10 of 20 from behind the three-point line.
Inside, Okafor with space. Turnaround jump shot short. Timmerman hauls it out of the air. Thomas, Timmermans, Cornette, Jones, and Quinn on the court for the Irish. Jones steps back. Now gets the step to the bucket. High off the glass and in.
Well, they created that opportunity by running a little perimeter weave, Gus, with the idea of getting the ball in Jones's hands so he could do just what he did, attack the rim.
Nice bounce pass to Quinn. It's terrific. How about that? The teardrop.
The falling leap. No shot blocker can get that one.
And just like that, Notre Dame back-to-back buckets. 31-23 now. Okafor working hard inside on Timmermans. Long jump shot, Gordon. Short. Cornette with the rebound. High pick and roll. Thomas. Jones wheeling. Kicking. Quinn. Irish very patient on offense. Now Thomas with 10 to shoot. Running right-hander. A roll! He gets the roll. 31-25, and just like that, Notre Dame is back in it on an 8-0 run. It's a carryover from the first half. Denham Brown down the lane and draws the foul in midair.
Well, let's go back to the end of the half, Gus. When UConn had 6 seconds on the shot clock, when Notre Dame scored, and they weren't able to get the ball in bounds for an opportunity to maybe add to their lead. Those kind of little things sometimes can come back and bite you a little bit, as Notre Dame has been able to extend their run until that free throw.
Timmermans picks up his third foul, has to leave the game. Rick Cornette comes back in. Connecticut is led by as many as 14 points. And Denham Brown gets the second one to go, 33-25. Notre Dame now with some rhythm on offense. Quinn steps back. Thomas spinning, leading. That's a bad shot.
Yes, it is. Especially after you've been able to get some good looks to start this half.
Here's Boone. And Talik Brown able to draw the defense and find the open man. Tonight on Star Search, can the remaining champs defend their titles against the toughest competition yet? Find out on a new episode of Star Search live tonight here on CBS, America's most watched network. So Josh Boone, a freshman. He started 23 games, only the 12th freshman under Calhoun to start the season opener. He missed a couple of games against Syracuse and West Virginia with a shoulder injury. Oh, missed the second. Okafor was there and almost came up with the tip jam.
Well, you can't afford to allow that to happen. A missed free throw. UConn gets another possession.
Gordon, no good. Boone is there. Count it, and the foul.
They're just too big and strong. Buffet style all day long on the backboards for UConn.
All you can eat?
All you can eat. And the eating's been good for the Huskies. And Josh Boone going to have a chance for a three-point meal here. That was the 15th offensive rebound for UConn. And you look at Josh Boone, you love his tenacity. Good hands in terms of suctioning in rebounds. And he's got a mentality where it seems like in the games I've seen, the tougher it's gotten, the better he's been. I mean, he's had two of his better games against Pittsburgh.
Exactly. Really solid basketball game against Pitt. 12 points, 13 rebounds. And Jordan Cornette picked up his third foul.
Well, Notre Dame started the second half with a mini surge, attacking the rim as Jones and then in transition, a nice little teardrop by Chris Quinn, and then the last basket in the surge by Chris Thomas. But since then,
Connecticut has answered.
Exactly, as an elite team does, UConn has answered, and Ben Gordon picks up foul number 3. Chris Quinn is deceptive.
Yes, he is.
The book on him is that he's just a catch-and-shoot guy.
But that's not necessarily true.
It sure isn't, because he's got nice change of pace, he's got good size, and he's got good ball skills, so he can get you off balance and get up under you, but he's really struggled from the line in Big East play in the last few ball games.
On the season, Quinn, an 81% free throw shooter, but as you mentioned, he has struggled. Coming off a very nice outing. 22 points versus Syracuse, misses the pair.
Yeah, he was 13 of 20 from the line in his last 3 games. I'll make it 13 of 21, so he was up in the high 80s before this recent stretch of poor free throw shooting in the last few games.
Okafor rebound, rips it down and draws the foul. Emeka Okafor, a man-child, 39-25.
This is early offense for UConn, which creates even more lanes to the offensive glass. And Okafor, nobody stops his progress. Not that anybody could, even if they wanted to. He is so quick and so strong and so persistent. Those are all ideal qualities for an offensive rebounder.
What a line for Emeka. 11 points, 17 rebounds.
Wow.
And we still have 15:51 to go as he adds the free throw. Connecticut looking strong. All right, let's take a look at today's Wooden Award profile presented by Allstate. Guess who we're going to take a look at? That's right, Emeka Okafor. Great numbers on the floor, but a 3.8 grade point average in finance here at UConn.
He's got it all going on and off the court, and he has been absolutely fabulous today. Assisting, rebounding, blocking shots, scoring. That 17 rebound total is one more than the whole Notre Dame team so far.
(40-25). Here's Quinn, Cornette, Thomas, Falls, and Timmermans on the floor for the Irish. Falls. There's Falls. Looking inside. Cornette backs his way down on Okafor. Jump hook. Too strong. Knocked out of bounds. Will stay right here. Sunday on CBS 26 years ago. A disco burnt down. Now the discovery of a missing victim could prove it was no accident. Don't miss a new episode of television's most watched new drama, Cold Case, Sunday here on CBS, America's most watched network.
Connecticut has been so much better today defensively in defending the perimeter than they were in game 1. And that's one of the reasons Notre Dame has struggled as they have on offense.
Picked up by Cornette. And a new shot clock falls on the skip pass. The Irish 2 of 14 from the three-point line, and a whistle. Foul coming up against the Huskies.
And in yesterday's practice, that was really a point of emphasis for Connecticut. Getting over the high screen, not allowing Chris Thomas much room to operate, crowding Quinn. And I tell you what, they've executed every part of their defensive game plan superbly here thus far.
Backdoor Timmermans wide open. And he lays it in. Great recognition by Chris Quinn. (40-27). Okafor facing up. Backs down Cornette. Elevates in traffic. Short. Quinn with the rake. In the front court. Falls off the dribble.
He hadn't heard one of those from you all day.
Anytime you can pull up from the three-point line off the dribble, that's not a bad thing.
That's major.
Major. And he's only a freshman.
Boy, when you have the ability to make the three, Gus, a 15-point lead is not that much.
Let's take a look at the last pick and roll. Okafor may have lost his man.
Yeah, look at his head. He's not seeing the ball or his guy. And Timmermans is going to go right to the hole, as he should. A miscommunication defensively as well, but Okafor lost sight of ball and man. And then without talking with his teammate, it was an easy one for Timmermans.
Jordan Cornette. Notre Dame trying to spread it out a little bit now. Thomas wants to work one-on-one. Pulls it for three. And hits.
He's fearless. No matter how many shots he's missed, no matter how many bad ones he's taken, he always feels like the next one is going down.
8-0 run for the Irish. Delete Brown, dribble penetration, and an offensive foul. He's pushed off. Oh, Thomas leaning into the basket. His third.
Well, let's put it on the isolated cam. Thomas and Brown. He got the chicken wing out there just a little bit. You got to keep it tight to the body, Gus. If you get it away from the body, they'll call that offensive foul, although that was definitely a questionable one in both you and my opinion.
Back door, and Timmermans throws it out of bounds.
I guess yours and my opinion
exactly.
is the proper way to say that, or a better way.
Notre Dame with 4 turnovers today. Only 4. Connecticut has turned it over 12 times. Okafor again, just going right over Timmermans.
But when you let him catch it that deep, forget about it. He's so strong, and he's got such good elevation and extension. That was his 14th point to go with those 17 rebounds and 4 blocks.
Meanwhile, a foul inside. Let's take another look at Emeka. Inside.
There he is. That's deep post position. That's prime real estate there. Timmermans with the 3 fouls can offer no real resistance.
Timmermans on the wing. Drives baseline. Wants to take Okafor. Finds Cornette. Back to Timmermans. Nice catch and basket. Beautifully done by the young man from the Netherlands.
That was a tough catch of a hard, close quarters pass.
Villanueva lobs it inside and knocked out of bounds by Jordan Cornette.
These are the 2 big guys for Notre Dame making plays on the move off the dribble. It was a little sloppy, but at the end, it was all you needed. And I tell you what, Timmermans maybe should have been at the foul line. He got knocked down there. Mike Gray going to get him out to get a rest and also to save a foul.
And a steal by Thomas. He's got Gordon back with him. Thomas driving. Finds Quinn, catch and shoot, count it, and here come the Irish.
When you can shoot the 3-point shot, a double-digit deficit is nothing to overcome.
Or better yet, as they say, if you have a J, you can play. Inside, tapped up and in, looks like Boone with the hand on it. He's such an impressive freshman. Josh Boone is going to be a player in the Big East. Cornette. And if Notre Dame could get one of their bigs to step out and hit a 3 or 2, this game could get really interesting. Thomas off the dribble. Another tough shot. Anderson making him work extremely hard.
And that's the area where Chris has really improved so much. Selecting when to be aggressive and fearless and when to wait for the game to come to him. And as a coach, you just have to kind of live with it.
Ben Gordon can't get the bounce. Jordan Cornette comes up with the rebound.
Nice job of blocking out Boone, who is always going to that offensive glass. Boy, you love his persistence in attacking the puck.
Now Quinn rolls down the lane. Left-hand runner, short. Batted out by Cornette. In the corner. And a new shot clock for the Irish. Notre Dame refuses to go away. And as Jim Calhoun talked about, his Connecticut team unable to really put teams away when they have big leads. Thomas, 15-footer. Bring it up. And the lead is 4.
Gus, what we're seeing now from Notre Dame is the fruit of having a nice big lead against Syracuse, seeing Syracuse come back and then responding to that challenge. That's what we're seeing now. Their confidence in being able to fight back on the road against a team when they make a run at you.
CBS Sports coverage of NCAA men's basketball will continue after this message and a word from your local station.
Well, Notre Dame is only down 4 after being down 14 in the catalyst. There have been 2 of them, Chris Thomas and Chris Quinn. Here's Thomas assisting to Chris Quinn for a triple. And you take a look at what these 2 guys have done first half compared to second half. They've combined for 12 already after scoring only 6 between them in half number 1.
So the Irish are on a 15-4 run. As a matter of fact, Clark, they've trailed by as many as 15 in this game.
Thank you, partner.
Down low, Denham Brown banks it home. Great play out of a timeout by Coach Calhoun. But he is one of 16 finalists for the Basketball Hall of Fame. Congratulations to Coach Calhoun. Well deserved. And the Irish turn it over. Loose ball, and somehow Dorian Jones gets a hand on it and bats it to Chris Thomas. Now Thomas looking. Jones hard down the lane. Loses his body, rejected. Either Brown or Okafor. Here comes Gordon struggling offensively. Finds Okafor inside, and he's fouled.
Dorian Jones gets the lane, but here comes Okafor to help out. Actually, Denham Brown was the one who got it. Nice job there by Denham Brown, who was yanked in the first half for not moving his feet on defense. That time moved his feet and came up with the block at the end of the drive.
Okafor way off the mark on that free throw attempt. He's a 50% free throw shooter coming into this game. And today he's 2 of 4. Scores from around the country. How about North Carolina beating Florida State? Second free throw off the mark. Okafor as well. That Providence team looks good this season.
Ryan Gomes, one of the best players in the country at the small forward spot, can do everything. Glass, eat, pass, score.
Thomas backing down. Brown spins baseline. Off the glass, high and in. He's 6 feet tall, and he's got a post game.
Well, he's a fearless scorer. And he's a confident performer. And as a coach, you have to live with some of his poor decisions, although he's making fewer and fewer of those, especially recently. But he's a guy who can make plays when you need him.
And a foul on Jones. That will send Gordon to the line. But as I mentioned before, congratulations to Coach Jim Calhoun. 32 years as a head coach. 14 spent at Northeastern. 18 at UConn. And he is one of 16 finalists to be selected to the Naismith Basketball Hall of Fame. He's done everything you've asked of him.
Yeah, one of the stalwarts in the game, and he has been for a long time. When he first came here, many people wondered if, in fact, he could make UConn a basketball power. That question has been answered emphatically, yes, and yes again. They are one of the perennially top programs in the country.
Inside, rejected. Cornette gets a hand on it. Brown gets it back to Denham Brown. The kick, Gordon. He's way off today. chased down in the corner by Colin Falls.
Well, sometimes when your game is disrupted by early foul trouble, you have a tough time finding a rhythm to get yourself going offensively.
Gordon 0 for 6. Baseline, Poole. Up top, Brown. Back to Poole. Double clutch, count it.
Beautiful basketball there. Ball movement, crisp passing, and a nice finish by Boone.
49-42. Timeout Notre Dame. Boone with 12 points, 8 rebounds, a couple of blocks. And he's shown an ability to finish.
CBS Sports College Basketball coverage is sponsored by Lexus and their passionate pursuit of perfection. Circuit City. Check us out at circuitcity.com. And by Miller. There's good enough and there's better than it has to be. Miller. Good call.
Welcome back to Hartford. Connecticut with the lead. Notre Dame has advanced to the NCAA tournament 3 consecutive years, the Sweet 16 last season. And let's take a look at their tournament profile.
Well, you take a look at these numbers, and it's a little early yet, but clearly a game of this magnitude on the road, if they could somehow get it on the heels of winning 3 straight, would be large and fortifying their resume. They get Providence at home early next week. And I think they've done a nice job, Gus, of controlling the tempo today. They just haven't made enough shots, and they've been pounded on the glass, but they're still very much within striking distance because of what they've been able to do in controlling the pace and making some three-point shots here in the second half.
A lot of time remaining in this one. 49-42, Connecticut. Welcome back to Hartford. And a look at the game summary. Close game now, 49-42. Connecticut has led by as many as 15, and they are killing Notre Dame on the boards, 48-23. Gus Johnson, Clark Kellogg. Everybody knows about Emeka Okafor and Ben Gordon, but they've been getting contributions from other guys today.
I think Josh Boone has been terrific. He's got 12 points and 8 boards. Denham Brown had only scored 20 points total in his last 4 games. He has double digits today with 10. And Talik Brown, as he always does, doing a nice job assisting his teammates. And he's also got 7 rebounds from the point guard position.
And that was the first field goal of the afternoon for Ben Gordon. Has 3 points. He's 1 of 7. And Ben averages 18 points per game.
Well, again, I think the early foul trouble, and he has forced some shots here in the second half.
John Anderson stripping it. Out to Talik Brown looking for Okafor. Here's the high-low. Gordon steps back. Shaking up Jones. He doesn't bite. Now Gordon straightaway 3. In and out. And the rebound to Chris Quinn. Approaching the 6-minute mark of the second half. Thomas straight to the basket, and somehow Okafor closes and swats it out of bounds. His 7th block of the day.
Thus, he went and got that one. I thought surely that Thomas had put enough air under it to get it over Okafor, but he just rose and got it. What a block.
Timmermans backing up on Okafor. Quinn. 10 on the shot clock. Quinn on the baseline underneath. Short. Timmermans is there.
Chris Quinn finding a way to get inside the defense, which created the opportunity to get to the offensive glass. Notre Dame still hanging around.
Jump shot in the corner off the back rim for Anderson.
I think that's a little little too quick, especially when you've got Okafor, who's had so much success when he's got the ball inside. That's one of the other little chinks in the armor of UConn. I think they've answered one question: can they bring grit and tenacity defensively? They've done that. But every now and then they forget about dumping it into Okafor when they have a lead and they're trying to put a team away. Timmermans is in foul trouble. He bangs bodies well, but he doesn't elevate, so you've got to think that Okafor should be your main option here, especially in the half court.
Got to feed the hole.
Yeah.
In the corner, Anderson, another three, but this time he knocks it in. And the Huskies are up by 10. Rashad Anderson has 10 points, right at his season average.
And he's a 44% shooter from behind the three-point line.
Thomas, baseline, won't go. Boone clears it. And now Connecticut will slow it up a bit. 4:09 to play. Here's Malik Brown, in and out, crosses over, short, loose ball, and a foul coming up. Anderson fouled. Colin Falls gets him from behind.
Boy, what a nice breakdown dribble by Malik Brown. And again, whenever you get penetration, be it with the pass or the dribble, it collapses the defense. It creates offensive rebounding lanes. And UConn has certainly exploited that. As a matter of fact, they pounded that glass even when there hasn't been dribble or pass penetration.
Plus 23 in rebounding this afternoon. Sunday on CBS. Two carefree singles with nothing in common are about to become parents. Poppy Montgomery from Without a Trace and Doris Roberts from Raymond star in Raising Wayland Sunday here on CBS, America's most watched network. Second one good. 3:47 to go in the second half. 56-44. UConn. For you. Our score 56-44. Under 4 minutes to play. And Connecticut has the possession arrow in their favor. And the lead.
And that lead is the fruit of the work UConn has done on the glass. They have been dominating. 20 offensive rebounds for 21 second chance points. And while Notre Dame has done a nice job controlling pace, they just haven't made enough shots to overcome the dominance by UConn on the glass.
Here comes Gordon, who struggled. But has been a team player. He's given it up today to his teammates who've had hotter hands. And a foul coming up on Thomas. Let's take a look at the CBS Sports Line stat of the game. It has to be rebounding. 52-27 Connecticut. For complete game stats, go to cbs.sportsline.com. As Malik Brown heads to the line. And he gets the first. Coming next, Josh Childress and the top-ranked and unbeaten Stanford Cardinal go for their 23rd straight victory against the UCLA Bruins, or the Crimson Tide tangle with the Bulldogs of Mississippi State. Check local listings for the game in your area. How do you like Mississippi State?
I really like their team. They've got a dominant low-post presence in Lawrence Roberts. Timmy Bowers, one of the outstanding guards in the country. I think both Stanford and Mississippi State amongst a group of maybe 7 or 8 teams that I think right now have a really good shot at being champions. That obviously will change over the next few weeks, but along with them, this UConn team is in that group. Pittsburgh, I would put Gonzaga and St. Joe's in there as well, and throw Oklahoma State and perhaps Texas in there as teams that look to me like they've got the ingredients. Duke, I'm sorry, I left Duke out. Yes, I left Duke out, didn't mean to, but those are the teams right now, but obviously a lot of time between now and San Antonio. Look at what those teams have: size, depth, talent, shooting, defense. I mean, they've got a lot of good ingredients.
Well, this Connecticut team certainly has stars and great role players. And their biggest and brightest star, Emeka Okafor, has a career-high 20 rebounds. Ben Gordon off the glass. Boone with the rebound, and he is tied up. Jump ball is the call, and the possession arrow favors Connecticut.
Well, when we talked about the stat of the game and appropriately highlighted rebounds, right below that would be their defense today for the Huskies. They have just not allowed Notre Dame to get anything easy.
Thomas straight down the lane, and he can't convert. And that's what happens when you're used to your shot being either blocked or contested. You start changing your shots.
Well said, and Boone did a nice job to run step for step with Thomas and distract him without fouling him.
Boone has 12 points, 11 rebounds. Terrific job for the freshman from Maryland. Now Gordon down the lane, finds Okafor. Watch out, stripped by Quinn. Picked up by Falls into the front court. Timmermans can't hold on. Somehow bats it to Thomas. And his shot off the side of the backboard. Falls is fouled, though, behind the three-point line on his attempt. Don't forget, coming up next, some of you will see top-ranked and unbeaten Stanford take on UCLA. That could be a tough game for Stanford because UCLA has shown an ability to really rise to the occasion when they're taking on #1 ranked teams.
In the past, they certainly have. I actually thought UCLA, you and I had a chance to see them. I actually saw them twice, and I felt like they would be a little better than they've been so far this season.
So Falls gets the second one to fall, and Chris Thomas in the first meeting, 31 points, but Connecticut doing a terrific job on him this afternoon.
Well, they put a lot of different defenders on him. They really focused on not allowing him to catch it cleanly off screens. And then the big guys, when there were screens involved, they helped out the guards so that Chris Thomas couldn't turn the corner and get any space. In the absence of Turin Francis, certainly a factor against this big physical UConn team.
And we'd like to give a hustle award. We want to give a hustle award to not a player, but a referee. Ed Corbett blew his knee out, missed 3 straight weeks, had surgery, but is back on the court. He's balling today.
He's a gamer.
And this is
there's Ed.
Ed before the game on the cycle. He wanted to keep it loose.
Yep, lubricating that repaired knee joint. And he's
playing with a little pain today.
Just a little bit, but I know he feels good to be out there, and he's looked good. These officials have done a nice job. I mean, this game has been well officiated, I think, as is the case most times.
Ed Corbett, John Cal, and Pat Driscoll doing a fine job this afternoon.
They've allowed the guys to play.
You barely notice them.
Yep. And I think any good official will tell you that's what they like to be. Hardly notice. Allow the game to breathe and flow and call it fairly at both ends.
Falls, gets down the lane, and gets it to fall. Timeout Notre Dame. 1:11 remaining in the second half. 59-48, Connecticut. One more look at the game reset. Notre Dame out of timeouts. Connecticut with a 59-48 lead. And the Huskies are trying to improve to 21-5 on the season. 9-3 in conference play.
Well, this has been impressive on a number of levels for UConn. It's payback for a loss just 12 days ago. We love the way they've defended, and their work on the glass has been stupendous. But the other thing that's been impressive is there's a turnover by Gordon. And a layup by Thomas. And you can't start to put the parking brake on now if you're UConn. You still got to execute and be strong with the ball.
Huskies get it into the front court.
But the other thing that's been impressive about this win for UConn is they would much rather run you out of the building. They've had to kind of grind it out here today, and that shows the ability to me of being able to win in a different style. And that's one of the other ingredients you look at in championship caliber teams. Those teams we mentioned just a few moments ago, all I think have the ability, while they want to force their will on you, they still have the ability to maybe win a game that they may not be most comfortable playing.
Yeah, most of the time, teams that like to run are considered finesse teams. Today, UConn, they really were on their grind.
Yeah.
Smash mouth, offensive rebounds, stick back, second chance points,
loose
all
balls,
those things.
good
Block
tough
shots,
defense.
exactly.
Yep.
They really took it to Notre Dame today, Cornette. And the rebound taken out of the air by Denham Brown.
And when they bring that kind of passion and fire to their work, because they have such talent, that still makes them one of the favorites to win it all.
So a little pressure on Connecticut today after losing 12 days ago to Notre Dame. But you know the old saying, pressure either busts pipes or makes diamonds. And this one, a diamond for Connecticut, winning at home against Notre Dame. And that should do it. That one does not count. 61-50, the final score. Connecticut defeats Notre Dame to improve to 21-5, 9-3 in the Big East. And the Chevrolet most valuable players of the game, Chris Thomas and Emeka Okafor, 14 points, a career-high 22 rebounds. He also had 7 block shots. Chevrolet will make a contribution to each school's general scholarship fund to reward outstanding students for their academic achievements and to assist those in financial need. For Clark Kellogg, this is Gus Johnson saying so long from Hartford. We'll head to New York right after this.